Growing up, I was always a huge fan of Disney films. You know, obviously we have the modern stuff. We got the Moanas, the Tangles, the Braves, but I'm referring to the old stuff, the classics, the stuff that just you could feel and see on the screen, the blood, sweat, and tears that was poured into it by the original creators of these films. Each of them giving us valuable life lessons, stuff that we could take away and apply to our lives and make us better as a society, bring a tear to our eye, and make us smile by the end of it and feel like we're unified for just one brief moment. And I'm sure if asked, you guys could immediately just start listing off, film after film, all these Disney classics that you grew up with and defined your childhood. But let's scoot those to the side for a moment. I feel like if we really look at it and really think deep and hard, there is a grouping of these films that just sits above the rest on the Mount Rushmore of Disney classics, right? The stuff that has cemented itself permanently in Walmarts, Targets, Spencer's, and Hot Topics everywhere for the rest of time. These titles would include, I'd say, Bambi, Childhood Trauma Forest Edition, Beauty and the Beast, that's a good one, Stockholm Syndrome the musical. But for me personally, there's one that sits above them all, and it's not even a question. It's the magnum opus of Disney. And of course, I'm referring to Aladdin. Homeless guy catfishes a princess with included genie DLC, baby. If you guys don't know, basic story of Aladdin, he's homeless guy, obviously, as I said before. He journeys into a hidden temple of treasure and finds a lamp that he rubs, and it reveals Robin Williams, or the genie, and gives him 3 wishes. And with these 3 wishes, he ends up working his way up through the echelons and gets himself a princess by the end of it. Finds money, finds fame, and finds the girl of his dreams. Now, at this point, you're probably asking yourself, is he actually going to talk about Chaotic, or did he just decide to go off on some random Disney nostalgia trip? Just calm down and hold your horses. Just sit down on the couch and listen to my story, okay? Gosh, you're just like your mother. Have I ever told you that? Anyway, I went through the temple, I went through the trials, I went through the challenges, and I too found a magic lamp of my own. I rubbed that thing down to its very core, and what popped out of it, believe me, it wasn't just chaotic, and it wasn't a genie either. What came out alongside of it all was something that I feared I'd never have to see in my life, or even mention to another living soul. We got chaotic, and then we have NFTs. All right, going off of that real quick, I just want to put this out there. I'm sorry if you guys are bored, annoyed, or anything of these intros that I do. I genuinely love doing these videos, and I feel like that these little stories that I come up with, for me, first and foremost, I just love doing it. It's great, but I also like to try and get you guys in a good mood to set you up for the videos, and maybe even get you guys to chuckle a little bit. It's all in good fun, and I hope you guys aren't too annoyed by it. I apologize if you are, but yeah, and on another note too, you guys have been super awesome, super supportive, and I've met a lot of really cool people through this process so far, so appreciate all the support you guys have given me so far. You guys are super awesome. Love y'all. And anyway, let's get to the topic at hand here, okay? If you guys recall, in a few of my videos so far, I've asked you guys for suggestions on video topics, or, bring some news to my attention that I might not be aware of regarding Chaotic and its return. So I've gotten a few responses so far, and it's been really, really fun and really good to see those different ideas. They're super cool. But there's one in particular that somebody shared with me that I was quite honestly shocked to see. I don't think it's anything to worry about. I don't think it will be even in the same ballpark, but it's kind of interesting to take a look at it and think, that's a weird correlation, or that's a weird, adjacent thing to have there. So let's go ahead and jump right into it here. I'll, blur out the name and everything just for the sake of, keeping people's identity safe so you guys don't go and berate these people. But here is the screenshot of the conversation and suggestion that I received. First off, you can see a couple of links here, leading to the Panini America website and, their store and all that. This is real. The only speculation is that they will use it for Chaotic, but they must if they just launched Panini NFT. That has to be why Ganon chose to partner with them, because Chaotic as NFTs is the perfect partnership. Every card has a digital code and version. You enter the code to claim the NFT. In the Panini Chaotic announcement post, they will have a web app for scanning codes. It's literally all there. It's going to be for NFT, and nobody's talking about it. I swear, I'm not crazy. Oh yeah, You thought this was going to be a warm and fuzzy video, didn't you? No. We're talking about NFTs, baby. NFTs, the blockchain, the corporate ladder. So, if you guys don't know, Panini America is the people that were partnering, or are partnering rather, with Chaotic to bring the card game back. They'll be printing the cards, and looking at this here, kind of gives you goosebumps. You can't see it, but there are some hairs sticking up on my arm right now, right? Traditionally, Panini is known for, printing their sports cards, right? You got NBA, MLB, NFL, stuff like that. I'm not a huge sports guy. I would, occasionally toss the pigskin around with my dad, baseball, but that's really about it. Never really played a lot of sports, but kind of doing my research and seeing those annoying unskippable ads on YouTube, like from Whatnot and stuff. Not bashing Whatnot, by the way. Not bashing you. I'd see these guys open these packs and, they'll pull these super hyper rare refractor cards worth tens of thousands of dollars, signature one of ones and game worn underpants snippets from a guy that, ate too much Taco Bell before the day of the big game. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. But yeah, so I'm not really too shocked to see or even, have my brain think of the fact that a company might want to lean into this as a potential additional source of revenue. Back in the day, I forgot what year it was, but, I remember a time when, NFTs were super huge and they were at the forefront of media and everyone was talking about it. So it was a little interesting. I didn't realize that was still a thing that people did, but it's super interesting to see. And, to have it lean so close to Chaotic in that way, the degrees of separation, just having people sitting in their seats, shaking like an asylum patient straight out of Outlast, thinking, oh no, they're coming for Chaotic. They're coming for it. It's just something super funny to see and, wrap my brain around. And again, to make sure I'm covering my bases here, I don't have anything wrong with anybody that likes collecting NFTs or is in that space at all. It's just another form of, revenue, another form of business, another form of, like a hobby, if you will, if you want to count it as that, the collecting aspect of it. I don't have anything against NFTs, and I don't necessarily think there's anything inherently wrong with it, right? They're not really, trying to scam people with it. I don't think that that's, at the core of it. I think it really is just a cheap way to make money for some companies, and I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with it. So I just wanted to put that out there. If you're going to do it, you go ahead and do it. I'm not going to stop you. It's just not for me. And just to make sure, that this guy's not just blowing smoke, right? Let's go ahead and take a look here at the Panini website just to show you what he's talking about, right? And boy, oh boy, would you look at what we have here. Really, Panini? You think one silly little link is going to hide your sins from me? You think the wool will be pulled over my eyes and that I wouldn't find a way out of it? You're kidding yourselves. To make matters worse, you got your hands in the cookie jar. You got caught. What do you got to say for yourself, huh? The gall and the audacity that you people have to want to make money as a corporate business, the absolute lunacy of that is just mind-boggling to me. Imagine wanting to make revenue for your employees and, give people what they want. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. So if we take a look here, it leads you to a Panini shop where it says, own your piece of sports history. Access the largest collection of licensed digital sports collectibles from top leagues. Sign up today. You can buy, pack drops, discover exclusive one-of-one collectibles, stuff like that, as you can see down there at the bottom. And on this little animation here on the right, well, at least for me, it's an animation. You guys won't see it. It's a static image. But you essentially just add this to your collection as you would with Chaotic, right? Now, I'm no conspiracy theorist, but you got to admit, it's definitely interesting to look at and kind of connect the dots with, if you will, play the tic-tac-toe board in a nice little row there. But just to settle the waters before they even start to boil, I do want to address the fact that if we take a look at it from a bird's eye view, Chaotic originally was kind of just, an NFT thing, just not as, money laundering and, greedy, gimme. It wasn't any of that. We do put our codes in. We do get the cards online as our own personal copy of what we have in real life. But You know, as far as I'm concerned, that was about the extent of it, at least for me, right? And kind of looking at it here, I can definitely see the correlation. I can definitely see the, you know, the concern that can be made for that, right? And I don't think, just being honest with you here, you know, sitting on the therapist couch with you, Brian Gannon and the entire chaotic team throughout this entire process, you know, they've known that we've existed. They've known that our community has been super hyped and, you know, fighting for the return of chaotic. And they've been really, you know, nice and really thoughtful when it comes to including us in a lot of things that, frankly, no other company that I can at least name at the top of my head has been this transparent about, right? But obviously, we don't know everything about a person truly until they show their true colors. You know, who knows? Ganon could be a Jar Jar Binks waiting to usurp the throne and, you know, take over the NFT market. And, you know, at that point, sure, I guess I'll eat my words. But again, this team has been so good. They've been so kind. They've been so nice to even give us the opportunity to be involved. You know, there are so many good sources and references that would say the exact opposite of what this guy's claiming, right? I trust fully 100% that they're going to lead this into a good spot, into a spot where I think the game will really succeed. And to be quite frank, this is such a niche link that I didn't even know existed. I guarantee you Ganon probably doesn't even know about it himself. So just, yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about today. It was a super interesting topic. Obviously, I'm going to use topics that I get. This is all, you know, this is all just throwing it up into the air and seeing where it lands. None of this is meant to be taken too seriously. I just wanted to really throw it out there and be like, oh, that is a pretty interesting topic to talk about. So hope you guys don't get too offended by it. I'm not making any claims. I'm not trying to start any conspiracies. It's just something that was brought to my attention. I thought was a really cool concept. I personally haven't interacted with, you know, Ganon at all, but I have definitely seen everyone's videos, interviews, and stuff like that, and, you know, questions being answered. And as far as I'm concerned, Ganon, you're an amazing guy. You're an outstanding citizen, and I'd trust you to deliver me a pizza any day of the week. You're the friendly neighborhood chaotic dealer for us, man. I really appreciate what you do. You're awesome, and don't stop, man. Don't stop. You're bringing a lot of people's, you know, dreams to life and, you know, giving us our childhood back, so to speak. So thank you so much, Brian. I appreciate you a lot, man. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for the video. I hope y'all enjoyed. As per usual, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that other boring stuff that you hear in every other single video that you watch. And I'd love to know your thoughts down below. What do you guys think? Do you think Chaotic will move over to the dark side? Will it lean fully into NFTs and put on the One Ring and give in to temptation and take over the entire market as we know it? Or do we have nothing to worry about at all? I'd love to know your guys' thoughts down below. And make sure you guys give me video topics for future videos in Chaotic Daily News. And, you know, anything that I might not be aware of regarding the revival. Again, I suck at finding this stuff. I don't know how you guys do it, but make sure to shoot it my way. You know, hit me up in the DMs. I'd love to know. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Love y'all. You guys are awesome. Thank you for all the support this whole time. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Peace out.